The Four Leaf Clover podcast is sponsored by Planet Celtic.
Hello, remember this guy? How's it going, Andy?
Oh, roasting, mate. Absolutely boiling. I managed to watch the game in a hotel. No sound. The speakers were screwed. I don't know what's happened there. I think, I don't know, it must have been a hun or something that watched Rangers getting beat one time and started to tell up and down the foyer. I don't know what's happened, but I got to see the game, which is the most important thing. Fantastic.
Aye, brilliant, mate. It's always good to give the teams from the bestest league in the whole wide world a good royal pumping and sent back down the road. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the post-match show. It finished Celtic 4, Newcastle 0. Before I get the starting lineup, Andy, there was a parading of our new signing. I don't know if you managed to catch that, mate, but we have signed Shin. Apparently his middle name's Fane. And Yamada, sorry. On a 4-year deal, mate. He was paraded before the fans, before the game started. Very exciting, and apparently faster than Dyson Maeda.
He must be very fast. I've got to be honest, I think he had a poor season last season at the team he was at, but it doesn't mean he's going to come here and be a failure. Wants to be an exciting player. Good to see him paraded. As I said, I had no sound in my TV that I was watching it on, so I don't know what he said. So maybe you could link me, but good to see him getting paraded. Obviously, he was on international duty, so this is the first real sighting we've seen him. So good to see. He looks to be an exciting player.
Aye, mate. I watched his interview actually with Celtic TV, and obviously he doesn't speak English yet. So I mean, he was sort of very confident that he was going to come in and hopefully be the best, Japanese player we've had. That's his sort of confidence.
Yeah.
So that was good to see as well. And we will get into the team now, ladies and gentlemen. So Andy, any sort of surprises in there for you with the starting lineup? I felt as though we'd go stronger, but they certainly done themselves justice, didn't they?
They certainly did. Obviously, you're looking for the bigger hitters to come in, but again, it's still a pre-season friendly. We've still got a few games to play before our season actually kicks off, so you're still going to get your kind of fringe players mixed in with your first team regulars. So, no, really, I wouldn't say I was too surprised with any kind of additions in the team there.
Aye, and somebody's mentioned it already in the comments. Big Trusty today was an absolute colossus, so he was very surprised, and he got man of the match as well. Maybe he needed that shot in the arm, Andy, as well, didn't he, to come in there? I was a bit concerned when I seen his name, but he was absolutely outstanding today, Trusty was.
I don't know. I think I've been watching a different game. I was just talking to a guy who was sitting beside watching it and going, he just gives me the fear every time I see him. I've just got no confidence in the guy. I didn't see a man of the match performance, I've got to admit there. So
did you know? I thought he blocked everything, mate, and got in front of everything, and he read the game very well today. His pace was good. He took a nice yellow during the game as well when their boy was getting away. I thought he was really, really, really good today. But like you said, you never had the sound, and you were talking to a Geordie, so you probably missed.
Yeah,
you probably missed his best bits. So let's get into the game then, ladies and gentlemen. So the starting lineup's been done. The first 10 minutes was very, very quiet, and on the 13th minute, Andy Yang plays the ball in, and we've got a double chance really. Engel sort of fluffed his lines, and then Kenny got a shot off as well. Both should do better, but that was our first sight of goal.
I thought we started really positively. I actually thought Newcastle really backed off us big time. And I can understand we're well ahead of them when it comes to fitness, because we've had a lot more kind of pre-season games than they have at this stage. I think this is their proper pre-season just starting. I think they've had one closed door game that they've played. And I think especially at the start of the game, you could see that rustiness and kind of just a wee bit lacklustre for him. But we looked right on it. We looked sprightly, springing the ball about, passing it about, spraying it about. Some really good stuff early on in the game. good opportunities as well.
Aye, bang on. And Penelope there, she's in the car park in the stadium after the game. And we believe our Kaiser is just making his way outside the stadium as well. So I think he's going to jump on when he hits the Celtic way. So, aye, we hope the 20 million Geordies enjoy their post-match pints in the Bristol and the Loudon. See, it's a loser's mentality. It's show me your friends and I'll show you your future, as they say. You're kicking about with the dafties, that's what's going to happen, lads. That's what's going to happen. So on the 19th minute then, Andy, what a save. Maeda was actually brought down, but he springs straight up, as he normally does. Some ball in by Yang, but the Newcastle defender gets to it first, and it's heading in. But some save for the Newcastle keeper. His reflexes were outstanding.
Aye, it was a cracking save. That was Pope, wasn't it? That was in goals in the first half. Aye. Who did they sign him for? It was another team down south, wasn't he? Nick Pope, wasn't it? What a name. What a name to be kind of with a Celtic jersey on with that name on your back. I think it was a good save. Again, another kind of cutting move for Celtic as well. I've got to say though that Burnley. I don't think he had the greatest game. I know he had a good save there, that keeper, but he had a bit of hiller later on, but we'll get into that.
I was going to say, it would have been, he missed a trick there, mate, the Pope scoring at Celtic Park. He could have stuck a wee OG in there. He would have been a legend for life, mate. But like you said, he certainly done us a wee miracle later on in the game, which we will get to. So in the 23rd minute, a great save by Schmeichel. It's actually a good move by Newcastle. The boy gets a shot off at the edge of the area, takes a deflection off Murray, who gets a sort of block in. But again, Casper alerted it, and his reflexes were certainly tested. Good save for Schmeichel.
Aye. Because I was talking before that, I knew Schmeichel had started the game, and I was like, I don't know why I was confused. I went, was that Schmeichel that saved that? And then I thought to myself, of course it was, because I've just seen the starting lineup and he's starting. Great save with Schmeichel. They had a couple of opportunities kind of early in the game, but other than that, we didn't look trouble. But again, he answered the call. That Schmeichel, and we know even at the age of 38, he's still got the reflexes there. Can still put himself about. I was just worried that he was going to get injured at some point. I've just got that in the back of my head now with Schmeichel, that he's got injury, and let's try and be positive here now to keep the positive thoughts. Fantastic save for him,
Aye, it might be a bit dodgy if there's ever a 1-on-1 and he has to come out and dive at somebody's feet, but we'll see as the pre-season or the season goes on. Hopefully that's not the case and he's not got the fear. So in the 26th minute, Andy, great play down the left-hand side. McCowan plays a cracking ball into Maeda, whose pace just gets flying by the guy. He rolls it into Engels, who gets clearly taken out. It's a penalty to Celtic. Clear penalty, Andy?
Aye, I think Engels, at first I thought Engels actually kicked at the back of the Newcastle player when he went to go and connect with the ball, but obviously it's a foul. Did he get booked for that player?
No, he didn't, mate.
Aye, but I seen, you mentioned that Maeda wrestled in the middle of the park, wasn't it? Because the boy ended up getting injured, didn't he? A Newcastle player that tried to...
Yeah, that was one before, mate.
Aye, sorry, he get injured in that, supposedly. I think it was quite a clear penalty.
Certainly was. And then Engels steps up, mate, and as cool as you like. We've seen him do it all last season as well, mate. Cracking penalty for Engels. 1-0 Celtic.
Aye, that's what he always does. I thought Calmack was taking it the first though. I was wondering, because I think Engels went down. I thought he'd maybe a wee kind of ankle strain or something for the tackle. But I think if Callum's standing there with the ball and he's like, well, I'm taking it then. If you're injured, then all of a sudden he's all right, isn't he? He's got to take that penalty. And that's what he's known for, especially at Celtic, is scoring penalties. But I thought Callum was going to end up taking it, I've got to be honest, when he's standing with the ball.
Yeah. And then on the 33rd minute, I mentioned it earlier with Trusty. He took one for the team. Newcastle actually got away, and it was one for the team. Trusty gets a yellow card. On the 38th minute, Andy, how did he miss? Yang gets away down the right-hand side. Kenny's free in the middle. Nobody anywhere near him. Plays a lovely ball in, and he just fluffs his lines, doesn't he? He just opens his body, tries to side foot it with his left foot and just fluffs his lines, mate. Should have been 2-0 Celtic.
It was a big miss and a cracking opportunity for him to get a goal as well. But Yang did really well in that situation as well. Pretty impressed with him today, I've got to be honest. I thought he'd done all right, Young. Yep. Again, another player whose future is up there. We don't really know where his future lies, if it's going to be at Celtic or elsewhere. But I thought he'd done okay today. That was a great opportunity for Kennedy getting the score sheet there.
Aye, it certainly was, mate. And then what's the goal again, Tam? Hilarious for the Newcastle goalkeeper as he completely misses the bounce. An empty net for Johnny Kenny to make it 2-0 to the Hoops. What was he doing, man? Unbelievable for the keeper, eh?
Aye, it was just a direct ball, wasn't it, for Schmeichel right out the park. Bounces, the keeper totally misjudges that. That's a bad mistake for Pope. The Pope had a howler there a wee bit. Just totally mistimes it. Kenny's it. See, even at that point, and Kenny's ruining him, I'm thinking he's going to miss that. I just had it in my head. I thought he's going to miss this, but he puts it away. It was really a tapper. It should have been easy enough, and he does score the goal this time. But totally direct. Or us talky passing for the back, and 20 odd passes not before you get a goal. Just right down the middle, bang, there you go. A Premiership level goalkeeper getting totally outclassed with a bouncing ball is very poor for him. Again, I think Celtic played well, certainly up to that point as well. In fact, the whole game in general. But you can see that Newcastle are really still rusty. I don't know what the instructions were from Newcastle, because they were pushing us up so far. In fact, they weren't really pushing us at all. They were allowing us to push them up, and then they were kind of pressing, getting closer to their goal. I thought they threatened very little. Wasn't really impressed with them. And I understand it's early in their season as well. You'll probably see a better version of them later on in the campaign, or as the campaign starts. But I thought overall, it's certainly up to a point. And then when we got that goal, some cracking football, some really slick passing for Celtic. But again, it was an absolute direct ball that got the goal. So very unusual for Celtic to play that kind of style. But cracking for Schmeichel, we actually see that opportunity there, to get the ball up the park like that. All right, it was a fortunate situation that the keeper made a mistake. Normally we clear that up. But again, good vision for Schmeichel. Let's just take a chance, get the ball up there. And it worked too.
It certainly did. And Andy, we certainly deserved to win, as you just said there, at half-time, 2-0 up. Could have been more. Newcastle did have a couple of chances, but pleased with the first half, mate, with what you saw?
Delighted. Aye, really, really delighted. I'll say again, obviously, we have had more pre-season games in Newcastle. I think the fitness showed. I've got to be honest with you. They're a better team than what they showed today. We know that, but you're playing what's in front of you. A lot of changes as well, kind of for both teams. But delighted with that first half performance, really. And as you said, it's an English Premiership team. We are cannon fodder all the time. We've got a very good record against English Premiership teams, and it rolls on again. It continues.
Yep, as Penelope says, that's Chelsea, Man City and Newcastle, all been scalped within a year.
Yeah.
Got to remember, lads, Newcastle finished 5th in the English Premiership last season as well, so they're no mugs, and regardless of fitness, they've still got the big spending players in there, you know what I mean? And their squad's worth a lot more than ours. And
they're straight into the Champions League, finishing 5th, straight into the Champions League. We win our league, and we've got to play qualifiers. It's just an absolute joke, man. Yeah,
and we could have a treble in the bag before the season even starts, Andy, with all these trophies. It's unbelievable. Just superb, absolutely superb. So Newcastle came flying out the traps, mate, in the second half. They made a whole host of substitutions.
Yep.
And on the 47th minute, a cracking block from Schmeichel again. It was worked well on the left-hand side for Gordon, and it was fired in. The Newcastle boy should score, but Schmeichel saves from that, the lad, Usala.
Aye. Yep. Aye. You could see the change in the second half, weren't you? It was like 2 minutes into the second half.
Yeah.
You could see the tempo had upped. They started pressing us further up the park, and their intent was to try and get us right for the start of the second half. again, a great opportunity. He should do better to maybe finish that, but fantastic save for the keeper. Reflexes again, good save. Good opportunity, but I think the boys should do better in that situation to stick the ball back. Not that I'm complaining, but good to see the keeper making a save there.
Certainly has. Looks like we've got a Newcastle fan in the chat. They don't mean nothing to use, but we've got a winning mentality, mate. We don't stop ever. That's the difference, and that's why you don't win trophies, and we do. That's the difference. So, Andy, as good as Newcastle started, it was 3-0 Celtic on the 51st minute. An excellent breakaway, so it was. McCowan sends Maida away. He cuts back, sends the defender for a hot dog, plays in Yang. A superb move by Celtic. 3-0 to the boys.
A cracking move. Great ball to Maida. A guy who's got pace to burn. But very clever what he does. He just cuts it back. The defender leaves the defender dead. And a great wee ball for Yang to come in. Fantastic finish. A great move for Celtic. Really cut Newcastle open and kind of 3 passes in a wee turn for Maida as he became a supplier then for Yang. But great, fantastic, great move for Celtic. And 3-0 up, absolutely cruising.
Absolutely cruising, mate. And then on the 55th minute, the boy returns. It was great that Brendan done this, by the way, and just brought him on his end to get the reception he truly deserved. KT gets his moment, Andy. But Inamura, a wee word for Inamura again. Excellent, outstanding yet again. So he was very composed. He's passing very crisp. His pace, his power. Great player, by the way. And hopefully we don't send this boy out on loan, by the way. I think he's definitely good enough to be a backup for KT. But it was brilliant, the reception KT got. You could see the smile on his face. It was just brilliant to see KT back in paradise.
Aye. I know you were talking about Trusty having a good game, right? But and obviously skills come on as well and got a run out. But either Tierney and Inamura can play left centre back, so there's no reason why actually these two players couldn't be on the park at the same time, interchanging whatever situation. Tierney can play left centre back or left back in the same way Inamura, so that could be an option because he's not going anywhere, that boy. I think he's shown he's too good that he's not going to go on loan. And he's certainly not going down to any kind of B squad. That is certainly not going to happen. He's going to be round about the team and pushing for a place. I think he's impressed anytime we've seen. And Brendan, obviously, the first time we seen him, it was pleasantly surprised, which is good. It's good because it's really good business for Celtic, to make signings like that turn out and you actually see the kind of quality there. So what I really like about him is this, and I wasn't sure how it would work out under Brendan's system, this long diagonal pass, but he's superb at it, and it's actually ideal for Maida, even though he's on the same side as him. If he can ping a ball diagonal like that, he can put it down the wing as well. But if we do get Kuhn replace somebody with his kind of pace as well, it's ideal for a right winger. Tilio as well. I mean, he's a player. If he does stay at Celtic, boys like that are ideal with guys for pace, but gets in behind the defence, totally cuts out the midfield. He seems really good like that, good with that type of pass, but looks really assured and comfortable in that position and playing on the team. It looks as if he belongs there, definitely.
Aye, mate, he's certainly got that quarterback pass on him for sure. On the 61st minute, that's when Brendan rung the changes, mate. The raft of subs began. Sort of changed the whole team, basically. The likes of Nigrin coming on, Sinisalo, so on and so forth. And then 4 minutes later, it was nice play from Nigrin actually into Ida. And you know the rest. We don't have to get into what Adam Ida done once he got a nice ball into him. On the 67th minute, we break again. Hatate into Ida. He knocks it past Burn, actually. It was a nice move, and he gets taken out. A dangerous free kick. So good play by Ida to knock it past Burn. And Nigrin, he steps up, mate, for the free kick. Maybe about 22 yards out, I would say it was. Would have been lovely if he just stuck that one in the tap bag, wouldn't it? But it was over the bar.
It would be. I was sitting next to a Newcastle fan, older guy, and, I was saying this boy's quality free kicks. Just watch this, got to be a goal. And obviously when I went, what a fucking waste of money that was, this boy. You know what I mean? I like him. I like the look of him. I think he's a quality player. We've certainly seen that in the last game. He looks good. You can't score them all these set pieces, but I do like the look of him. I think it's quality. I know a lot of people have been kind of uninspired with a lot of the signings we've brought in, but this is now an opportunity to get to see what they can actually do. And as much as it's both teams are changing, it's still a Premiership opposition, and good to see him performing well as well. But he's particularly a player that I think is going to be a fantastic signing for Celtic. Very O'Reilly-esque in the way he cuts about the park. Really impressed. Totally different for Engels. Engels is more a deep kind of line player, in my opinion, than Negrin and O'Reilly was. They were more kind of advanced attacking midfielders. It's good in the ball. Technically looks very good. Quick in the heat and all when it comes to movement and passes and stuff like that. Really good. So I'm looking forward to seeing Mary Ham in the team as well.
I think he can take the jersey off Engels, mate, if I'm being honest with what I've seen already. He just glides. If you can get him and Hatate in front of McGregor, you know, on fire, mate. They two, I think, will be frightening, my man. Absolutely frightening. Very Matt O'Reilly-esque, yeah, I would totally agree with you. I've been very impressed with what I've seen so far. So on the 74th minute, Andy, Hatate should make it 4. We're pressing Newcastle now, pressing, and they slip up again. He should do better, mate. He gets the break of the ball sort of towards the edge of the area, but the Newcastle defenders are on him. Pretty much a rush shot. It's not like him. Should have done better, Hatate there.
I should have done. I thought the Newcastle defence at that point was really, really shaky. Really looked really nervous. I think they were shocked at how good Celtic were. I've got to be honest with you. I think that they weren't expecting Celtic to be so good. So maybe I have a wee bit of lack of research here or respect when it comes to who they're going to be facing. I've got to say as well, just looking at Celtic Park, I wasn't expecting so many Celtic fans to be there. I thought it'd be quite empty, but really quite impressive, to be honest with you. Especially when you're asked, what was it, £40 a ticket? Yeah. When you've already forked out for 16,000 taps in the last 2 weeks, and season books and your paying holidays and all that. So, and then you've got guys like our Paddy, you know, coming off Ballymena and all the other Irish contingent, that the amount of money they spend coming out for games like this, you know, it's total commitment. So fantastic to see that kind of crowd for basically a training game, let's be honest. That's, you know, call it a pre-season friendly, but for both teams, it's as a training game. But we looked well up for it. Really, really impressed with Celtic's intensity, and some of the passing was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, mate. We just didn't want to lose a goal today. I thought they were excellent. You know, they just kept driving, pressing, defending. We're defending for their lives that we didn't want to lose. And then a minute later, we proved that we wanted to get more goals because we got one. It's 4-0 Celtic on the 75th minute. Excellent again for the boys. Top quality. A 1-2 from KT and Hatate on that left-hand side. And KT sends it in and scales his air. Great header. 4-0 Celtic. Brilliant ball in for KT.
Aye. Was that boy Byrne that was marking him, by the way? Because he's about 6'7", and how Scales... I mean, I know the boy was beside him, but he was totally unchallenged.
Yeah.
Big Scales is really good at that, actually, for making space to get headers. It's something he's done it in the past. He seems to get the space and direct it into the goal. Fantastic. Absolutely delighted with the score. Obviously, you know, it's an English team, it's a Premiership team, and we are in a Farmers League. But again, pre-season, we play against them and give them an absolute scalping. So, you know, I think respect is due when it comes to people looking up and looking down their noses at us and out the league we play in. We're a lot better than what's made out, you know. That we're not taken seriously enough with teams when it comes to play us, whether we go to play them in America or wherever it may be, or they come to Celtic Park. We're a good team, by the way. We are a good team. We're only going to get better as well. We're going to get fitter. We're going to get sharper. There's still going to be bodies coming in. There's still players that still haven't appeared yet. You know, you've got AJ that hasn't been, and CCV, and you know, so I think in general we're in a good place. You know, I think we're in a good place, and I'm not getting carried away with pre-season results. I mean, we lost against that wee Portuguese mob. You know, it was very surprising. So I don't take it too serious when we win, and I don't take it too badly when we lose in pre-season games. But obviously, you're going to be delighted with a win, and again, the performance is important as well, because we were very comfortable in that game. Comfortable, but also I totally agree with Scott when you're talking about defending and determined not to lose a goal. That was a real competitive performance for the defence when it came to that. You know, when it came to absolutely keeping the back door shut, the determination was there and commitment was there, and that's great to see in a pre-season game. It really sets the tone for going ahead in the season. You know.
Yeah, mate. And then on the 91st minute, we seen that we wanted to keep that clean sheet. What a save from Sinisalo to keep the clean sheet. Newcastle break down the right, and they finally get a free header in the box, but a brilliant save for Sinisalo just to keep that back door shut.
Aye, again, great deputy. It's really good having keepers that are a genuine match for each other. All right, Casper's the experience on it, but I think in general, when Sinisalo's very good, very able. So I think it's a good security thing for Celtic that they actually got a keeper in second place in the squad as a keeper that could come in and slot in there and cover for at any point and look very comfortable, and the team could be comfortable with him in goals as well.
Aye, mate, bang on, absolutely bang on. So that's it, mate. It finished Celtic 4, Newcastle 0. We've got over 200 people watching us live at the minute. If this is your first time watching the 4 Leaf Clover podcast, please like the podcast, please share it, and please jump onto our YouTube page and subscribe. We're absolutely flying. There's normally 5 of us. Our Jerry's in Santa Ponza, our Paddy and Kaiser are actually at the game, so they'll be outside the stadium somewhere just now. That's us, Andy. 4-0 at finish. Let's have a wee look. We're back on Thursday night for our next game, I believe, against Ajax in the Como Cup. So I think what we'll do, mate, is we'll do a full podcast on Wednesday night. When is it you're back from Greece, pal?
The early is next Sunday.
Right, so you'll still be in Greece?
Every Sunday.
Still be in Greece next week then, on Wednesday?
Aye, but I'm not sure what I'm doing yet, to be honest with you. We've hired like a car for 3 days, so it could be away somewhere.
Right, don't worry about it, my man. I'm sure we'll have 3 or 4 on anyway. So we'll get our usual segments back together. We'll get the lads back on, and we'll have a nice podcast for you on Wednesday. We'll preview the Ajax game, and I'm sure there'll be more stuff coming out of Celtic between now and Wednesday. Andy, thank you so much for taking time out your holiday to jump on with me today, mate. I really appreciate it. It's great to see you again. It's good to be back on the podcast as well. I've missed it. I've had a nice break myself. So thank you so much for everybody in the comments. We'll see you on Wednesday. Fuck the English. 4-0 Celtic. Come on, the champions.
Hail, hail.
Hail, hail.
Someday